Hello everyone. Today we are going to attempt to make some Barbados cherry juice. So here I've got 4 cups of washed cherries. I'm going to blend them and then strain them 3 times. And then we are going to add some sugar and some water. And I will show you what that looks like. Okay, so this is what we are left with after doing the straining. This is the pulp. There's quite a bit of it. And then this is the juice. So I am going to strain this one more time and see how much more of that pulp comes out of the juice. Okay, here is that second strain. There was not much pulp left at all after doing that first one. And then here is the juice that we were left with. Okay, to that cherry juice I added 2/3 cup of water and 2 tablespoons of sugar. And we're going to pour it into this glass. Cheers. Oh, that's really good. That's a great way to use up your cherries that need to be processed, because once you pick them from the tree, they ripen quite quickly. So I had a little bit left over from passing out juice, so I have some popsicle trays. I am going to fill these popsicle trays and see how that turns out. Where's my lighter? Okay, that came out with 3 popsicle sticks. We're going to put those in the freezer and we'll see how they turn out this afternoon. All right, everybody, we are back. Do not mind the mess on my table. This is zucchini relish. This is day 1. This has 3 green zucchinis and 2 yellow zucchinis. We have been out of power for the last 3 hours. It just came back on. So I have been chopping everything by hand. They say you can do the food processor, but I couldn't turn on the electricity. So I've been using my mandolin, and I love this thing. Look at this. So I put it in there and I chop it the first time, and then I actually chopped it again, and it gave me these really nice little chunks, which is going to be perfect for zucchini relish. So I put that many zucchini in, and then I chopped up a bunch of onions, and I put 5 cups of onions. And then I did orange and red peppers and put those in the mandolin, chopped those up, and I put in 2 cups of those. And then I'm going to be adding salt to this, canning salt. And I will tell you how much of that. Okay, here we are with the salt This is Morton canning and pickling salt. And I have done 6 tablespoons. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to mix it really well. And then I'm going to cover it and set it. You can either put it in the fridge or on your counter for at least 12 hours. The next test for today is to figure out what to do with all of these Armenian cucumbers. These are all the smaller ones. And then we have this one. And I'm going to line these up on this bench so you can see how big these things can get if you don't find them. That's those 2 together. And here's the next one. Those 2 are about the same size. And you're not going to believe this one. I found this one this morning hiding behind our laurel tree. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's a monster. Now I get to figure out what I'm doing with all of this. Okay, we are back. I've got all of these guys peeled. I did a rough peel, not getting all of it off because that's not going to be necessary. I'm going to do a chow chow relish and a cucumber relish and some refrigerator pickles, and we'll see what I have left over after that. But I wanted to show you guys these seeds. See these smaller ones, the seeds are about that size with all of these guys. Then you start getting into these bigger guys here, and the seeds are about that size. And then that biggest one that I just did, look at this. Look at how big those seeds are. They're crazy. Look at that. So I'll be de-seeding all of these. And then I have a few China Jades, 3 of them, that I'm going to also be adding into all of this. Okay, I just want to show you really quickly how I was telling you I was doing 2 runs on the mandolin. So here they are, the cucumbers on the first run, and here they are on the second run. You guys, look at how many cucumbers I have. Oh my gosh. I know when I put the salt in, they're going to shrink down quite a bit, but oh my goodness, I'm going to have a lot of canning to do. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, Father's Day. We want to wish all of you a very happy Father's Day today. And we are starting with our salsa this morning. I have chopped up the tomatoes and I'm getting ready to put them into the food processor, pulsing them several times to get them to a nice diced consistency. Okay, everyone, we are back. I am getting my canner ready for water bath canning. I've got my lids on the stove for sterilization. I've got my jars in the dishwasher getting sterilized. And we are doing 3 different cans of, or pots of salsa. This is going to be the mild. This is the medium. And this is the hot. Okay, I follow Becky from Acre Homestead, and she has a website called scratchpantry.com, and that is the site that I used for doing my salsas. She did it with tomatillos, but you can do it with any type of tomato. She did 10 cups of tomatoes. I had to adjust a little bit because I had 13 cups of tomatoes. And then she added onions and green peppers. I had red, yellow, and green peppers. She put in chili peppers. I used, depending on if I was doing the mild, medium, or hot. In the mild, I used serrano and a little bit of jalapeno. In the medium, we put serrano, jalapeno, a tiny bit of cayenne, and a tiny bit of habanero. And then in the hot, we have that same mixture, but more of it. And then there's vinegar in here. She uses lemon juice. She also advises that when you're doing any canning to follow the Ball canning book recipes to the T. Because she did not peel her tomatoes, as I did not either, but you cook them for 15 minutes. And then I'm just waiting for my water and my jars to get done, and then I'm going to be loading up these jars and putting them in the water bath canner once it starts heating up a little bit. And then once it starts boiling, we need to boil them for. So when making the salsa, I follow, as I said, Becky on Acre Homestead, and she has a link to her webpage that's called scratchpantry.com. She has a lot of good recipes on here. She just tends to throw things together, and she makes these amazing recipes for canning, freezer meals, different preservations. And on hers, like I said, she did the 10 cups of the tomatillos in this recipe, but the one that I followed on her YouTube, she was actually using regular tomatoes from her garden. She ended up with 10 cups. I ended up with 13, so I had to modify slightly. So I won't give you the recipe that I used, but here's her recipe. And it's all of your basic canning, and then you put the tomatoes, the peppers, onions. She used lemon juice. Like I said, I use the vinegar, and do that for 10 minutes. And then, of course, 1/2 inch head space, clean off the lids or the tops of your jars. And when you put them in the water bath canner, make sure you have 2 inches of water over top of your jars. And then they need to, once it comes to a boil, boil for 15 minutes. She lets her jars sit in there for 5 minutes. That just brings down the boil so you can get those jars out of there. And then a lot of people say once your jars are cool to remove the rings, just in case you have a bad seal. That seal will pop off instead of you having a false seal. So then she has like street corn salsa, the best pecan pie. I mean, this is an amazing webpage. I think if you're wanting to look for different recipe ideas, this is a great place to go, scratchpantry.com. And I just wanted to show you that. We've got 1, 2, 3 mediums, no, milds, 4 mediums, and 4 hot. And as you can see, they've all set. The way that you know if you're just getting started on canning, if they have set or not, is there's a little bubble right here that sticks up. And if that's not popped down, that means that it hasn't set seal. You could also go like this and it would make a little popping sound, you know, just push on it like that and it would make a little popping sound. And when it seals, it also makes a popping sound like pop. And that lets you know that your jar has sealed. It's the best sound in the world. So that was round 1. And now we are on round 2 of 3. So this is what we started yesterday, our cucumber relish. I have to rinse this thoroughly and make a brine, get some more jars going, and we will come back when I got a little bit of that done. All right, everybody, I want to give you a sneak peek on what we are doing for Father's Day. Tom decided that he wanted tenderloin, and we got this half tenderloin from Simpson's Meats. I've talked about them before, and their meat is just amazing. So we are smoking up this half a tenderloin, and he also put the Traeger's rub, the prime rib rub on there. And we got the pellet smoker. We used to have the propane, and you know, we just love the pellet smoker so much more. So many issues that we don't have to deal with now. It's from Pit Boss. So we'll see what that looks like when it's finished. Okay, we are back. Okay, I took all of the cucumber relish and I drained it. And now I rinsed off all the salt. It's drained, and you can still see that there's water sitting down in there. See that? So now I'm putting it in a tea towel like this, wrapping it up and squeezing out all the excess water. So then it looks like this. So I got a lot of that moisture out of it. So I'm going to continue doing that, and we'll be back. Okay, everybody, I am back. It is a little after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and we just got done eating dinner. We had that half a tenderloin that I had showed you a picture of in the smoker. It turned out beautifully. And we had that with cucumber salad and baby potatoes. Remember me telling you that I had a bunch of cucumber left over, and one of the things that I just did with it was made this salad. It is the diced up cucumbers, a couple tomatoes, some different types of basil that I have in the backyard. I did the opal, one of the Thai, and some lemon basil, onions, half a cup of sour cream, a couple tablespoons of vinegar, a couple teaspoons of sugar, salt to taste, and dill, and mix that all together. And it was really good. And the other things that I did was, when I did do all those cucumbers, that really big one that I showed you of the Armenian cucumber, I saved the seeds from 1/2 of that. That's only from 1/2 of one cucumber. So I'll have those to plant next year. And then the other thing that I finally finished doing, so I already showed you the salsa, and then we made cucumber and zucchini relish. All of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 zucchini, or 11 cucumber relish, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the zucchini relish. So they turned out very well. They're very tasty. I can't wait to have those on my hamburgers and hot dogs. Again, I hope you guys had a wonderful Father's Day and spent time with your families, and we will see you next week.